So here it is. These are the internals of the record-breaking Recontaliator. As you can see, it's just an Orange Modworks Stage 2 bolt sled. It's got a metal trigger catch, as you can see, but this is finely sanded down. You take out the plunger rod, and it is an Xplorer plunger rod that is beveled and fit down to fit this spring. Now, normally a plunger rod would be too wide to fit the spring on the inside, but this is actually really nice. The other thing is with this guided, it actually keeps it very, very well centered. It's quite nice. Now, you may notice the plunger rod has two sets of O-rings. Two. One of them seals this front part, and the other one guides. This means that during any moment of inertia, the plunger cannot move past maybe 5 degrees. This is nice because what a lot of plungers do is they get locked up like this when they fly, and this one doesn't do that. It helps guide it and keeps it centered. Now, the plunger tube itself is actually made from a Busby bearing. It is not long shot. I took a Recontaliator front end there, and I glued it up here. First, I tacked it down with super glue. Then I filled it on the back end with epoxy cement or epoxy resin. And then I filled it with Go-To glue on the back. Basically, this is, and it's got 2 layers of fiber tape on it that is laminated. Basically, this is next to indestructible. It will never explode. It will never blow out. And besides that, my contact points, because I'm using 2 O-rings, are on the very outsides. And these are also Busby bearing plunger heads to maintain the correct diameters. Now, you take this apart. Let's lose this Katana Mag prototype for a second. Give me 1 second. That's a Katana Mag product sample, by the way, from the factory. This is actually the earlier ones without the middle reinforcement ribs and the grip texture. The newer ones actually look better than this. That's before we redid them. But at any rate, here is your breech. Your breech is a modified Archer breech. It has a finger on the front that grabs it, but the finger only goes as far as your standard Nerf breech will have. Now, here is the breech. It's just a Nerf breech, but it's got a very polished and machined piece of stainless steel. It uses a clover leaf kind of pattern to it. It is laminated to the back, and then it just runs into it so it has its normal functionality. What happens is, because this is stainless steel and this is brass, is that the stainless steel reams the brass until the brass is the exact size of this with as little resistance as possible. This takes some time to wear in, but it makes one of the most effective breeches that you can possibly make, in my opinion. And it makes it so that it automatically sharpens the brass, it automatically polishes the brass. They never gall together, they don't oxidize together. They're incompatible with each other chemically and physically. So it ends up making a much nicer pusher than aluminum or brass, in my opinion. Now, where was that critical mistake? The critical mistake was back here. I didn't put any Teflon tape on it or grease. And so I was getting what I believe were inconsistent firing results compared to what it can possibly get. Also, my spring is a little on the light side. I may have to change this out for a brand new number 62 Hillman to give it a little more gusto. Meaning, we could actually see higher velocities. Who knows? Well, anyway, this is Chris Cartea. Don't you go changing.